And welcome back to the History of Fleetwood Mac. I'm Anita. Today we're going to get into episode 3 of volume 15 of we're going around the dance right now, dancing around the dance. And I should have probably made this into like 2 episodes, but I was talking a lot and I apologize. So this is going to be the last of me talking about the dance. I'm going to start off with the page kind of backwards so I can just kind of get the story out of the way. I had been seeing Stevie. I mean, I'd seen Fleetwood Mac in 87, Stevie in 89, Stevie in 94, Fleetwood Mac in 1990. I want to say twice, or I saw them in 92, Stevie in 91 also. But this would be the first time seeing Fleetwood Mac really as a whole. Lindsey Buckingham did show up at the show that I went to at the Cow Palace, but I still hadn't seen Fleetwood Mac really as the original. And of course, this was big news. I mean, it was a big deal, like I kind of talked about in the last video, the 20-year anniversary of rumors and such. So I went to what we had at the time, which was Warehouse Records, which is where you'd buy tickets. And I want to say this was in, I'm not sure, probably Santa Cruz, but no, I don't remember, somewhere in the Bay Area. And I got in line super early and I got a ticket, which I'm looking at right now. And I think by the ticket, like no matter what you wait in line, you got a ticket. So if you were first in line, it didn't matter for shit. You had to get in like whatever number your ticket was, like number 10 or whatever like that. And that's something like that happened to me. So whereas I had been like number 4 or 5 possibly, I ended up being like number 20 or 25 or something like that, maybe a little bit worse. All I know is that I got up to the front and they were gone. Tickets were gone. And, you know, there was probably lawn left, but I wasn't having that. So I was really disappointed, like super, super disappointed. And me and my infinite wisdom, not knowing anything yet, because I still hadn't met these friends that I talked about, I went to a scalper. I went to a reputable scalper in the Bay Area. And I ended up getting 2 tickets to go see Fleetwood Mac for $700. Now, you'd be like, yeah, whatever. That's pretty normal. That's about $350. Wait, yeah, $350 a ticket. I saw Stevie this last time for just shy of $400. Stevie. And that's today's prices. So $350 at the time. And I don't even know, to be honest with you. I mean, what was that ticket at the last time? That one ticket. I wonder what the price was. No, I didn't even look at that on that last. I didn't even think I could. Oh, $30 it looks like. But that might have been, that was a lawn. So I don't know. I'm going to say they were probably maybe about $75, $90 maybe. So it was like, I would guesstimate. Honestly, I would. Maybe $100, maybe. But that would really be pushing it. So it was, you know, triple the price, I'm gonna say. So I tell you this because here's my ticket. And then here's my credit card receipt. Now, mind you, again, I mentioned I had been married a few years. And if you watched my Street Angel era videos where my husband just really didn't comprehend the whole concept of going to tickets, you know, going to shows and paying what I do for tickets. This was divorce worthy. This did not go over well. This went over very, very poorly. Granted, I got 2 tickets. One was for me, one was for my mom. And I certainly had the money and such, and, you know, was paying credit cards and such like that, but it didn't matter. This just did not go well. This went very, very poorly. Now, the seats that I had, this is a layout of the shoreline in I guess, where is it technically? Santa Clara? I always forget. Mountain View, California. And these were the prices of all the different seats. And it says $175, but that's wrong because this is my receipt for that. I don't remember. And I don't have my ticket, which really sucks. But this is about where we are sitting. We're somewhere like right in here. Somewhere right in here. Which, you know, I guess isn't terrible. But yeah. I guess tickets down here were $425. In 1997, kids, $425 at a scalper. Never again. If you need advice on how to go to a concert and not pay ridiculous amount of money, come to me. Message me. I'll help you out. It's no secret, really. It's ridiculous. So that was my adventure with Fleetwood Mac. And I did go back the next night, again, much to my husband's dismay, with a lawn seat. So yeah, I figured I did well, you know, that first day. And so I went back Oh, $29.50 to $75. Fleetwood Mac adds second Shoreline show. Tickets go on sale. Newly added second show October 15th at Shoreline, and I did go back to see the second show. Yep. So I did see them twice on the dance tour. That was it, though, which was pretty amazing in hindsight. I mean, this night was memorable AF. I mean, I remember it like yesterday. The lawn one, I don't remember so much. I really don't. I don't think I was happy. Like a spoiled little child. I'm pretty sure I was not content. I was grateful to be there, but I was probably just mumpy that I was sitting on the lawn. Yeah. Again, more about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, charts, little excerpts about them. But yeah, this was a keeper. The ticket that screwed me after all that time waiting, scalper, seating, and I don't even have my ticket stubs. How crappy is that? How not cool is that? A couple of large size full page adverts for the dance. This one I want to say was on the back of a British magazine, like Q or something like that. One of those. I don't know where the other one was. There's just so much of this, just so much of the stuff. Just every time you open a magazine, there's something about the dance going on. A good story, right? Fleetwood Mac being at the Shoreline. This was band shakes off rust at reunion tour. Well, this was in Burbank, 529. So this was Joel Selvin. Have you heard that name before? I brought him up a couple times. He's an asshole. Hopefully he's no longer with us, which I know sounds terrible, but by with us I mean writing reviews, not dead. Just kidding. He was really mean. He was so mean. Like, just be a critic and just, say one thing or the other, or, hey, I don't like this, but, I've said it before. I'm saying it again. I think that he, I don't know. It's okay. It's not the worst. It's not the worst review. But I can't stand that individual. I could not stand his reviews. And I have them all from the Bay Area, but he was just so rude all the time. This one was, again, in the moment, because so many of them were positive, because, again, which I brought up several times before, kind of the, the whole reconvening and stuff. So out of like People or Us magazine, one of those two. And another one, again, about, this is the remainder, sorry. This is the remainder of this article. That was a cute little picture of them. That kind of doubled. You can kind of see it's kind of blurry. But again, a little cool little, even though Stevie Nicks Above doesn't quite own the voice she had 2 decades ago, she and her Fleetwood Mac colleagues showed the Shoreline Amphitheater audience Tuesday that 20 years later, they can still make it work. Oh, you know what? What? Would you look at that? Huh. Maybe I got more. You know what? Hell if I know. Whatever I paid here, because I was in section 103 here. And it says row R, which I'm not going to count. Whatever I was here. But the face value of those tickets was $75. $75. $700. And I have my ticket, though, but I didn't know that. I didn't realize I had my ticket. So that's pretty cool. I don't have my lawn seat. I guess that's what it is. I may not have, I probably did get one, but another review of Mountain View. This one was a little bit nicer one with a kind of a neat picture of Stevie, and that's definitely from the show. Kind of hard to see her, but she was rocking those boots. I have some pictures in 1998 that were taken, and I don't want to spoil the surprise, but I just forgot how beautiful she was wearing boots so much, and she had the camel colored ones and the red ones, and yeah. This was another photo session. There were some outtakes of this, had shown up in a couple places, and I would like to see more of those. And then there's one picture of Stevie that I think was from the same session, where she's kind of sitting down with an apple on her head. Do you guys remember that one? And Mick's kind of dressed up as like Cupid or something with an arrow. that was a cool little shoot. And I think seen that one picture. I think John and Chris did like a separate picture, or maybe they're all in it, but it was like two different. It was in a magazine that I never actually obtained. It was like in a photography magazine, and I was never able to get it. But they kind of had the same background, and Stevie's wearing this pretty red outfit. But yeah, that was again another session that there's just not too many photos from. But this was a good review from the Shoreline show, and just more from TV Guide. Just got to keep everything. I mean, I still go through stuff, and I have like these tiny little pieces. Like this is something that didn't make it into a clipping yet, and this little piece. This is like, you know, I have tons of this little stuff all over the place, let alone all the big stuff and all that. When I tell you I have this box, and here I am in 1997, I'm still coming across stuff from 87, 1990, not stuff that I've shown you, stuff that I still have to put together and possibly maybe start all over again. I was thinking maybe I would just keep the pages that I do and just kind of restart like a whole sequence, kind of like from the beginning again to the end. Haven't decided yet, but that was that. And we're going to wrap up. Oh no, we have 2 pages, but they're pretty quick. Some more reviews, because like I said, that's pretty much all there was. This was at the LA, Los Angeles. Couple reviews. Los Angeles, Arizona, and then Irvine Meadows, which was Los Angeles. A friend of mine had gone to that, and they took that picture of the venue board. And then this was the Los Angeles, or Irvine, I guess, possibly, review. Arizona. I think this article is part of this one here. This is a funny little page. Fleetwood Mac was in USA Today, which was a colored newspaper. And this is an extra, this little piece from that. Something from a tabloid. Before and after, again, so focused on our looks. So rude. Just absolutely ridiculous. I was reading something today where I think it's, who does All About the Bass? That singer, Meghan Trainor, I want to say. And I guess she's lost a lot of weight. And so people were all over her ass for being large. And now that she's lost all the weight, people are just like, oh, it's disgusting. And it's just like, I understand that it's been like that, since the beginning of time, but it just makes you really sick when you read it about people and you see, especially if it's somebody you admire. I mean, I don't like it to happen to anybody, but seeing stuff like this is just so disconcerting. You would think it would stop, but sorry. Was that my soapbox moment? Some really cool, I love all these different ones that are from different places, just not the standard, like I had one for, what was it, Hang on the Night? I had a couple, and one was from like Disney. So this one was unique from 13 WNET, I guess, a part of PBS. So a press photo directly from that. So that was really cool. Same photo and everything like that, but unique to have this part down here. More newspaper articles. Shocking. We could have played the drink where, the game, take a drink every time you saw this photo, but. And I think this article was from Los Angeles again. So this whole piece, these 2 pieces from LA, another review. And I want to say they did 1 or 2 nights. They might have done a few, because of course in Los Angeles you have, kind of like the Bay Area, you have, Concord, Sacramento, San Jose, Shoreline, Santa Clara, which would kind of be the Bay Area, Fresno, depending on where they went. So in Los Angeles, you have like Glendale, Los Angeles proper at the Forum or something like that. And then you have Bakersfield, and you have San Diego, and you have kind of all that whole general area. So I'm sure they did quite a few shows down there. And then this one that kind of wraps up perfectly, I guess, with some of the nicer stuff. Again, this is a photo kind of like the ones I told you I have negatives for. It's a lot of this stuff. So this one's a little blurry, but this is one that I bought at a shop, around the time this came out, probably like at Dave's or Star World or something like that. And then more about I don't think they had gone on tour yet. I think this is straight up out of the, about the video. Yeah, it's just the whole reunion before they even went on tour, so. And then the last one is Joel Selvin again, my favorite. Stevie Nicks seemed fatigued at the Fleetwood Mac concert at the Shoreline Theater on Tuesday. Stevie, in my opinion, I think I've always had it kind of gracious. This is a cool picture. I'd shown you guys, I talked about it and I totally had it wrong. This is from Street Angel era, I'm pretty sure. I have some other photos that are similar to it, but not from the session, but the way she's dressed and such. And I talked about a magazine, it being in a magazine, and this is like a Disney magazine or something like that. But this was, even though they use that other photo, this is for the dance era. So this is a kind of more unique and obscure article. Certainly a very obscure photo. And I think what I had shown you guys also is I had a drawing of Stevie like this that somebody had done that I bought in Berkeley. Anyway, sorry, I was saying that I think that I'm very fortunate being in the Bay Area generally, as are people probably in Arizona, when Stevie just really seems to be, in top form. Even if she's not feeling good, she really gives it her all because it's kind of their roots and where they're from. I think so anyway. And I just can't see Stevie being fatigued. She might have been, I don't know. But I certainly don't remember it as such. And I just can't imagine that, when there are all those eyes on her, people she knows and stuff like that. A, she always tries to put on the best shows possible. And B, like I said, just a lot of her friends and family there. So who knows? Anyway, that'll wrap up the dance. And it's kind of just, in my opinion, kind of a mundane time. Just, still lots of cool stuff. I mean, articles, especially if you could read it all. Another idea I've had is maybe scanning stuff in, I don't know, to YouTube or somewhere that people, kind of can have an archive of these articles. But there just wasn't as many pictures, and that was kind of a bummer. At least there's more pictures, even live concert photos, even though they'd all kind of look the same. There just wasn't that many photos taken that I have anyway. Stuff on the internet, sure, but just not too much stuff that I have. But in 1998 and 2001, we get a bit more. So we'll come back in the next episode, starting with what shall it be? Enchanted, I guess. Enchanted era. Stevie's greatest hits box set. So that'll be fun. Lots of stuff from then. So thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Everybody have a good night. Bye.